Hello, everyone. We're getting ready to start our Menta Network Town Hall, and this is very amazing session. Let's listen to some light music while we're waiting for more audience to join us, and also feel free to help us to share this space link across platforms so more audience can find us. Thank you.
Hey guys, I just wanted to chime in and see if everyone can hear me because I keep getting the connection loss notification.
Oh, yeah, great. We can hear you perfect. I was just wondering if we need to bring up your personal account over here. That's amazing. Thank you. It's loud and clear. So Kenny will join us
Couldn't
from
hear that. You said something about personal account?
yeah. So just your personal account is not on the stage, but we can hear you loud and clear from the oh let me see. It's I think yeah, X Spaces does glitch a lot because we cannot see you on the stage, but we can hear you. I thought it came from the main account. But well, either way that works.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I think right now Twitter is having some issues because I think a few team members also had to reload quite a few times just to get the spaces started. So really appreciate everyone's patience in all this as we try to get the town hall going while coordinating some Twitter uptime issues.
And I see that we already got a lot of audience joining as well. Should we start or do we still want to wait a couple more minutes for some people to be able to connect?
I think we can go ahead and get started.
Amazing. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are going to, well, welcome everyone to the Mental Town Hall and your host, Moonlight. Today we have Victor and Kenny, our co-founders at Mental Network, as our speakers. Our county managers have collect questions from a lot of county members throughout the week. And in today's Meta Town Hall, we're going to be addressing several key topics such as the trading timeline of KMA on Meta Pacific, the future prospect of the token for migration, and whether it has a chance to be listed on top tier exchanges. Additionally, we will dive into Meta's overall development plans, adjustment to the gas game program, and other pressing concerns about the Menta ecosystem. This is also a great opportunity for our community to voice your thoughts and gain valuable insights. So let's get right into it. The first part, we're going to talk about trading and token economy. And the very first question is, when will trading of KMA token begin on Menta Pacific? Kenny, would you like to answer this question first? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So before actually I begin answering the questions, right, I want to talk with you guys more so just in general about Manta, things that we're working on, the current sort of status of the industry, the markets, and everything. I know everyone is, it's probably not the most fun time in this space, right? Things have been going quite rapidly. And I understand that, like things such as, token price and all that stuff are areas of concern. I just want to talk a little bit broadly about that. First is, given the history of Manta Network, right? Like we have been building for the past 4+ years, probably 5+ years. I feel like I'm saying 4 years for the past 2 years, maybe five. Uh, and a team of contributors.
Sorry, Kenny, you're a bit of glitches.
Oh, um, sorry. What was the last thing you heard?
Uh, Starting, maybe you need to starting from the beginning. Yeah, because I glitch all the way. Sorry about that. Yeah, today's X space is really not
No.
very stable.
So, questions. I just want to address the more because it is very feeling time uh, space in general, right? And so many of you guys have seen this and felt it, right? Especially when it comes to the crypto token side. Manta's not really any exception to that. And so I understand, many of you guys are feeling the pressure from that side in general. Terms of right, like where we stand, I just want to give you a brief history of where we all started, which was 5 years ago. We've been building in this space for 5 years, and since then we've made many major pivots. We've got a team of 60 people all over the world that have been actively contributing to the project, some of which since day one. And we're constantly bringing on new talent to help us with continuing to innovate in this space. And the reason why I want to bring up this history is because it's extremely relevant at a time like this, right? Because being in this building for the past 5 years, this isn't the only turbulent market that we've seen. We've experienced much of this through our early days as well, right? You just want to give you a relevant sort of snippet in time when we did our first community sale, and that was back in our Polkadot era. And I think tens of thousands of people participated in that community sale, which was amazing. We saw a lot of momentum there. And that drove right into the depths of a bear market for us and for the entire crypto space. And so, we've seen that rodeo. But what we really did well, and I think what I'm really proud of that the team has accomplished, is that we built through that space. We built through the bear market. We kept our heads down and we continued to innovate, and we came out on top. And I think that by the time we came out into this, new chapter of the market, um, people already realized that Polkadot was not exactly, the most user-friendly place. The activity was at an all-time low. The hype, the interest, the projects, everything there was at an all-time low. But we were able to innovate and dig ourselves out of that and build ourselves to become what you guys know today as Manta Pacific, the largest Ethereum L2 on the modular side. And so, I just want to give you that snippet because at the core of all of this, if you take away the time, if you take away the markets, what Manta sells is that ability to innovate, is that ability to continue to build despite what other external conditions there are, right? There's things that are outside of our control, and there's things that are inside of our control. And in the past 5 years, what we've learned is that the thing that's most in our control is our ability to continue to build, continue to innovate, continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in the Web3 space, right? And I think what's possible is something that is something that Manta has always been great at achieving. On the Polkadot side, right, we were one of the first Polkadot parachains. And this is at a time where the documentation was just complete shambles, right? I remember on the engineering side, every time the Polkadot core team pushed some type of development, it completely broke everything that we had built up until that point, and we had to spend maybe 1 or 2 weeks to debug everything. And so, talk about being pioneers. No one else has done something like that before. So there was no one to learn from. We had to learn it ourselves and build it and, become the leader in that space, which we did. We successfully achieved that. And then afterwards, when we moved over to the Ethereum ecosystem, right? And we did the Celestia integration. We were the first modular L2. We're the first one to use alt data availability services. And what did that mean for us? That meant that now you see everyone talking about how low Manta gas fees are. We're significantly lower than any other L2 out there. And that's something that we're extremely proud of. But we were the first, right? We're the first general L2 to actually use them. And so there was no one else to learn from. We had to kind of jump into the deep end ourselves there. And now, even with fast finality, with Symbiotic, with Babylon, right, we're one of the first projects that are starting to use them for fast finality. And we're one of the first to use that, or we are the first to use that dual system for fast finality on our L2 side. And so, I think given the history of everything we've accomplished to date, right, there's no doubt in my mind that Manta is amazing at innovating, is amazing at trying new things, and is amazing continuing to push the boundaries of what's possibility, then, who could, right? We would waiting for proto dank sharding or now full dank sharding on Ethereum. But we pushed the envelope and we showed the market what's possible, and now we see a lot of different L2s also using Alt DA services. And even the throughput there is extremely amazing. I don't know if you guys still remember, maybe I think maybe it was a year ago where we had inscriptions, right? It started off on the Bitcoin side, then it made its way through all of the Ethereum L2s. And so one by one, because inscriptions were so hyped and they required so much throughput, it actually stopped the block production of many different L2s. I think ZK Sync was in there, and a few others as well. But when it came to Manta, right, our block production never halted despite the inscription craze, starting to make its way into the Manta ecosystem. And that's because we were early adopters of Alt DA. We're early adopters in the Celestia ecosystem. And so that allowed us to provide that throughput to our users to make sure that our chain continued its uptime, which is why we now say Manta never stops. Because out of all of those incidents, out of all those sort of block time production halts and stuff, right? Manta has been able to persevere through that. This is, again, attributed to our ability to adopt new technologies. It's attributed to our ability to continue to innovate. And so, regardless of what the market condition is now, 10 days from now, 1 year from now, right? I think we're confident that we can continue to push the envelope, continue to innovate, and continue to make it out on the other side like we always have. Um, and so, I just wanted to start this town hall off with that note because this is the first town hall that we've had in a while. Because previously we've been having them on our Discord channel, but we decided that we want to make this much more open in a public forum. And I think now is the right time to do that. So, really excited to be here. And, thank you, Moonlight and Inessa, for pushing that initiative as well. Victor, do you want to add anything there?
Yes, Kenny. Thanks for sharing. And I mean, sorry everyone. I'm super frustrated in the past 1 or 2 months because my own. I'm probably one of the largest token holder. uh, I mean, in the Manta token, for Manta tokens like circulation, so for the distribution. But unfortunately, before the token start to unlock, it goes down really bad. Although we put a lot of effort on it, but it's still like that. So I know a lot of people like feel the same. But uh, I do feel this is like a really it's not something I really want to see. And I've been keep thinking how to make things improve and what's happened, what's going wrong. And of course, there's something I cannot change. In the general like macro economy, I really bearish. Like every country besides United States, like Trump control everything, and of course this guy control the strongest country in the world and make the whole world's economy goes really bad. But I mean that's the general situation, and this cycle is totally different. No one care about the product distribution. We deliver the product really fast. Everything like we see our competitor doing, we do much better. But unfortunately, the whole L2, the whole roadmap of L2, what Vitalik talking about right now is being proved it's not right. No one is being care about the stage 1 to stage 4 and the ZK type 1 to type 4. I know there's some Ethereum maxi, but what they believe is totally different with the real like this the general crypto market is working on. We've been learning a lot from Solana, but I don't think it's enough. I think we should learn more and we should do more and more active. That's going to do in the in this year. And yeah, I mean lots of things happen for the for the market, especially within the past 2 months. And also you guys can see what's happened on Binance recent token performance, also really bad. Uh, but I think in general, the something good is for our product and development team. Uh, None of the team member I think is it's just gone because leave because they lose the hope. And anyone if they got fired, they're underperformance by my standard. My standard is really really high because I train myself in a really high standard. I make my team also really high standard. I want the project also really high standard. But unfortunately, I think it's still have uh have room to improve. But I also want to say there's right now there's more than 6 million cryptocurrency in the DAX screener or a token terminal. But when we launch token, it's only 2.5 less than 2.5 million cryptocurrency. I mean this include all the dead token, shitcoin, like token launch within 1 day and totally dead. But right now we are around top 400 in the CoinGecko. When we launch at the beginning, I don't think you should clap Moonlight. This is not good. This is not something good. I just talk about the fact. But when it's really competitive market, I'm really stressed. But I think everyone should know the fact. Like when we launch in the when we do TGE, we are around the 150 top 150. Right now we double, but the market is double. I don't think we. I think we are still in the average of the same position as the market, because there's more token, there's too many traction, but we didn't improve. But if we didn't improve, we and the market is all focused on the really really top token, and then we go stuff. I mean, I hold token, so I talk about really straightforward stuff. I'm not because Kenny is more working on the uh community and growth. but I'm thinking on the product side. I'm thinking for the user, like for every user. But uh, because I'm also hold token, I want it go up. But unfortunately, it's the same way, like as a lot of projects on Binance. So I need to figure out a way, like with our team, with our community, to figure out ways to like do the performance, catch the momentum. There's something I can share. We keep building, and there's some interesting product we are building rather than infrastructure, rather than useless infrastructure, like what. And we are not follow what Vitalik said or what other like technical, like so-called like thought leader said, but we are going to focus on what user said. Uh, yeah, and that's what I want to say. And but at the same time, I want to also mention, same as before, we don't have roadmap. What the user really want, and we see the momentum, and we see something going to be momentum. We catch that, but we are not going to release. Oh, we have 10 years plan. That's fucking Polkadot. They have 10 years plan, but they never deliver. They deliver everything lose momentum. Right now they do the ID. That's basically Manta's 3 years before doing. Who the fucking care that? But they still building. That means they lose the momentum. But we are not doing that. We build for user. So like that's something That's why we don't release the roadmap, but we keep building. Before the like product release, one day we announce the product. That's always we do. And then tomorrow you anyone can see the product and then use it. It's not something, oh, like we will say 10 years we are going to do this, another 10 years we are going to do that. This is crypto. One day it can launch 10K token. No one care what you're doing in next 10 years. Yeah, that's the general ideas. Yeah. Happy to answer any further questions.
Well noted. Thank you so much to Victor and Kenny, our co-founders at Menta Network, for sharing your journey and observations along the way while building the Menta ecosystem. Well, in one sentence to conclude this, I would say Menta never stops. And let's go to our next section of the discussions over here that we have collected questions from our community over the past week. And the first question we're going to talk about: when will trading of KMA begin on Menta Pacific? I'd like to check if Kenny would like to answer this one. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe we can actually chat about KMA a little bit later, because right now I think
Okay.
there's a lot of topics around the Manta side that we probably want
Oh,
to dive a little deeper into. So we could start with the future plans, right? And I think there's a lot
let's
of
go.
yeah, sorry to mix up the agenda a little bit, Moonlight.
Yeah.
Just to kind of build on the momentum there, right? Because I see a lot of questions there, right? Like, does one is like, does Manta plan to go beyond being an L2? Then other question is about around the roadmaps, and more generally, just like what are Manta's plans moving forward? Um,
Exactly.
and so I think like, with what Victor mentioned here, and I also want to give an example back to the Celestia times, right? Like when we integrated Celestia for Alt DA, right? And I already listed off, all the tons of benefits that we were able to give our users through that, including, saving, I think it was what, like 2 million in gas fees over just the first month, right? Like when we did that, honestly, the industry didn't really like it, right? When we were there was a lot of debate about it, right? Is Manta Pacific still an L2? Is Manta Pacific truly, this or that or whatnot? And people tried to bucket us into all these categories that tried to isolate ourselves from the L2 ecosystem. And this included, if you go on to things like L2 Beat and you other right? But at the end of the day, right, we have never really cared much about, what the industry perceives us as, at least not as much we care about how much value this ultimately brings the users. And so we were the first to actually go into that space and take that risk, regardless of, how influencers or KOLs or pundits may see us, because we knew at the end of the day this would be a really strong net benefit to the users. And so by that same standard, right, like to Victor's point, we're not focused on, how we are categorized as an L2, whether it's a type 1 or a type 2 or a type 3 or a type 4, right? It's always been, how do we bring more value to the users? How do we innovate in this space? And it always will be that way. And so this goes back to the direct question of, Manta and its plans to go beyond an L2. Of course, we have plans for that. I think that, with the recent success of Manta Pacific, many people have seen Manta Network as the largest modular L2 in the Web3 space. But the reality is, and this might be dissecting a bit, the reality is Manta Pacific is the largest L2, largest modular L2 in the world. But Manta Network itself is not an Ethereum L2, right? And just like we have, for those of you in our community, about Manta Atlantic, which is our L1, which allows people to do fully on-chain staking, security through that staking, right? But it's its own L1. So we have Manta Atlantic and we have Manta Pacific. It's just that Manta Pacific has captured so much mind share because of all the innovation that we've done and because of all the success that it's seen to date. And so the question here for, does Manta plan to go beyond an L2? Right? Yes, of course it does. We're always exploring, always innovating. And at the end of the day, we're going to do what it takes to continue to innovate in this space, continue to acquire new users, and continue to grow Manta Network. And so the way that you can think about Manta Network itself is that it is a platform for Web3 innovation, right? It's a way for us to continue to push the boundaries, continue to offer. And that's a lot of what we're exploring now, especially there's a lot of opportunity to go beyond, what is simply just, meme coins, what is simply just the current fad for the next 3 weeks before it's transitioned, right? We're trying to think beyond that. Um, and so there's a lot of things that we're looking at both inside the Web3 space as well as outside the Web3 space, looking at what are people using in the real world, what are things that people would truly benefit from if there's integration with cryptocurrency, with blockchain, and so those are some of the things that we're working on to expand Manta Network beyond simply the L2 side.
Understood. Thank you so much, Kenny, for sharing that with us. And are we also going to, jump to another section, or do you want to stay to talk about more on the future plans and roadmaps over here? Thank you.
Um, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get that out of the way, and I think that answers most of the questions about
Mhm.
the future plans there. And I think Victor also mentioned that the roadmap is extremely organic. Right? Imagine, imagine if we had a 10-year roadmap for when we were in Polkadot, right? That would have turned out to be quite disastrous. But yeah, Victor, do you have anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think from the like, we've been keep thinking how to build something, make like user use and make user fun, and but right now I think and also get I think right now also get some like good adoption, but the definition above adoption is keep changing. Like when we start to do the project, like you have a white paper, it's called adoption, but now it's different. Like we when there's galaxy, there's enough on-chain activity, it's called an adoption. When we do new paradigm, there's TVL, it's called adoption. But now, like the requirement is really different. You need to have real revenue stream and also have the good momentum. And Also, you need to have, like sustainable revenue stream. And also this momentum is also have something called mindshare. So this is totally different, than what we doing 5 years before. But also we've been keep learning and changing a lot. We've been catch different momentum as well. But I think something we've been missing. I mean, I won't say completely missing, but something I don't think we've been that focused. I would say is AI. If something I've been like reflect last year is we are pretty big miss on the AI. Super cycle. I would say. Uh, this is something is something I shouldn't, because actually in the early last year, my wife worked in a crypto AI company, and then she been talking to me you know, you need to do AI. Even my wife know that. I mean, sorry, it's not even. It's something you know, anyone from crypto can give me. I mean, from a crypto or not in Manta team can see we should do that. We did you can see we in our marketing side we have this awesome AI can talk to the people. People can answer the question, asking question. I won't say it's good model, but it's still we use that really early, and also we've been working with hyperbolic, we've been working with aura, but I don't think we work that deeply integrate and generate some good asset together with these partners. But we see the AI agent get some adoption that time. uh, we should actually working more deeply into that and actively work on it. um, Even before AI agent. I think if we do something well, like the awesome AI, something awesome QA, this kind of partner, we can work together to generate some AI agent products even before AI agent. But I think it's still not that it's still not that totally miss. It's still early on the whole AI adoption. You can see all the project raising more than 40 million in the AI space. They haven't launched their token. There's a lot of opportunity. So we are going to really focus on that part, and also we are going to really focus on the like adoption of the products. I mean which means it's not something we are just build the infra and then we make people have better experience on the infra, and then builder will come and then user will come. We will build some product can really get user traction, and then people like it, use it, and going to pay Manta token with it. So that's something uh, we've been thinking and keep already working on it. But of course, I mean, we keep improve our infrastructure based on the based on the technical design, to make it easier to use, faster and cheaper. But I think in the space there are a lot of things can do. There can be some fiat channel can make people easy to put money on chain. There can be some payment adoption use case, and there can be some trading adoption use case, and also have some new asset generation use case. All of these still able to need to explore, and we are exploring uh, with the team. Has been keep deliver for years. Yeah.
Well noted. Thank you so much, Victor. Yes, and totally agree that combining blockchain and AI is definitely going to be the future for us as well. And since we were talking about building projects, right? How about let's talk about Web2 and Web3 builders and builders ecosystem and support, right? As we could say, Menta is an emerging technology with campaigns like Gas Scans and Signify to onboard new users. Is there a plan to attract more builders from both Web 2 or Web 3 on a larger scale without demographic limitations? For example, hosting online hackathon open to everyone? Kenny, would you like to jump into this topic? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I can start. I think the throughout the entire conversation about, Manta's future and thinking about, where we're headed in the next, 3 to 6 months, Victor and I have both alluded to a lot of applications in the real world and thinking about how we can drive that adoption. And so definitely, thinking about the Web 2 space is top of mind. I think there's a lot of opportunities there that have not yet been fully explored by many other projects. And like usual, right, like Manta Network being the first to explore that, not a surprise. And so that speaks directly to the core of who we are on the innovative side. And so really, I think that's something that I'm looking forward to as well. In terms of the actual use cases themselves, it's definitely still early stages, and so it's something that we're exploring. But regarding the hackathon conversation, right? Like we actually started some of this sort of Web 2 initiative as well through the hackathons. And I don't know if you guys have seen recently, we did one that was really exciting on the Indonesia side. Um, so actually, what we did there was we focused primarily on integrating the Web 2 builders with the Web 3 space. And so what that meant was, throughout the 2 weeks that we were building with these Indonesian developers, with those Indonesian teams, what we did was we invited specifically people who were curious about the Web 3 space. But traditionally have been, developers in traditional online companies, banks, financial institutions, etc. And we basically taught them, what it means to build in the Web 3 space, and then gave them that 2 week period where we guided them, mentored them, and helped them with developing applications on Manta. And what was really exciting about that was we essentially got a lot of ideas that we think are actual, valuable use cases beyond just like we're currently seeing in the market. And so what that really spoke to was the fact that there are a lot of opportunities in integrating, traditional companies, internet companies, et cetera, with, Web 3, cryptocurrency, blockchain technologies. And so that's something that, we're definitely open to exploring more. And so hosting these types of online hackathons and stuff to expand that audience, bring it to an even larger crowd, that's something that we're looking forward to as well. I think one of the limitations of the Indonesian Hacker House was the fact that it was in Indonesia, right? Like this is nothing bad about Indonesia, right? It's one of our largest communities, which is why we prioritized it as our first Hacker House. It's more so just because of the physical geography of it. That meant that not everyone around the world could participate. And so we took our learnings from this, and we do want to expand into something much larger and invitational to the entire sort of Web 3 ecosystem, both inside and outside of Manta.
That is great to know. Thank you so much. And then perhaps we could organize it sometime later, let's say. And thank you so much for our committee member to suggest this, right? An online hackathon that open to broader users in the Web 2 and Web 3 ecosystem. And I would like to check if Victor will wanted to add anything on Web 2 and Web 3 builders ecosystem. Thank you.
I mean, like, can you mention perfect? But I think like from like our internal team, we are not only rely on the builders outside the like Manta team. I will say like most of the ecosystem is basically besides Ethereum is something like only Ethereum they grow their ecosystem from outside builder, but most of the ecosystem from the internal team they build some unique product. We also going to build some unique product. We are going to try. But at the same time, we do going to build some, like we going to keep expand the ecosystem. But I think right now, like all these builders, they go to different country, they go to different event. They're just asking grant. They go to different chain, asking the same thing, and build a product is the same thing. That's the problem of all the layer two. They deliver the same thing, but the product is nothing better. But compared to Solana, Solana people they keep deliver. Even the Solana is at $8, and they deliver some really different product. Even they do DEX aggregator. They do a DEX aggregator with DCA. They do a DEX aggregator with like limit order. They do like different experience. So that's why this DEX aggregator called Jupiter. They can go like 10B or something super valuable, super expensive. But none of the Ethereum's or layer 2's DEX aggregator can do it. That's why, because their products are the same and it's shit quality. Either we find some new builder, they're super smart, they're really build like long term with us. That's why we work on the Indonesia, because we know community is there, we know there's builders, they don't have support, and we came there, we help them, we give them support, and we build long term. Or there's another way is like our internal team, we deliver product as well. So both of this direction, uh, we find our unique growth opportunity rather than just like doing the like this kind of like I will say like building the same use ecosystem as other layer two. I think all these layer two, the activity is pretty limited. Include Manta right now, I will say, but people just see the fact. The limit activity is different, but activity is the same. But even ZK Sync, I will say Scroll and all the other, they raise 9 figure. They raise more than us. They raise more maybe 1 figure than us, which means 10x more than us. But they didn't have better performance, and they don't have a better fundamental, and they still think the same. But we think different. We think in a way how to make us different and make us different in long term.
Well noted. Thank you so much, Victor. And also, yeah, we have a lot of community members that they also share some topics that they are concerning about. So we are going to move on to tackle on the community concerns as well as the Manta ecosystem. The first discussion topic over here, we're going to talk about, well, with Manta kind of like moving away, right, as we know that from Polkadot and then aligning more closely with Ethereum. How does the team plan to position Manta uniquely in the increasingly competitive landscape of Ethereum-based interoperability solutions? Just like Victor mentioned, right, a lot of project teams, they are building similar products, right? And our community member also wanted to ask specifically what key innovations or integrations will make Manta indispensable in the modular blockchain and layer 2 ecosystem. This is definitely a great question. So I want to double check Kenny or Victor wanted to take on this question first. Thank you.
Sure, I'm happy to jump in first, and then Victor can add additional insight here. I want to go back to the point that I made at the beginning, which is Manta Pacific is the largest Ethereum L2 on the modular side, right? So it's the largest modular L2 in the world. Um, but Manta Network is not an Ethereum L2. And also to specifically address the question that the user asked or the community member asked, um, in terms of the differentiating factor and the alignment, uh, just like we are not aligned with Polkadot, we're also not aligned with Ethereum, which Victor mentioned there, and I gave a couple of examples as well. At the end of the day, since the beginning, we're aligned with users, we're aligned with community, right? And I think that, looking back on it, if we were to ask all of our community members, would they have preferred that we were aligned with them or if we were aligned with Polkadot? I think most people would say that they're glad that we're aligned with them. And in the L2 space right now as well, I think that most people would say that they're glad that we're aligned with the community rather than specifically on Ethereum, right? Because even right now, not even talking about the L2 space, but on the pure fundamental L1 infrastructure level, there's contention and wars going on. And so I bring this up because the alignment narrative is a bit of a trap. I don't believe that as a project you have any responsibility to the infrastructure that you're building on, but rather you have responsibility for the users and the community and the team, right? And when people ask me personally, right, what drives me as a founder, that's always been top of mind for me, which is I want to make sure that the team is happy and striving. I want to make sure the investors, the community members, the users, they can see all the hard work that we're putting in, and they know that we are prioritizing them. And so that's, I think, the core of Manta. And so I think it's kind of a distraction to ask, if we're aligned with Polkadot or with Ethereum or with other sort of ecosystems in the future. At the end of the day, our priority is and always will be users, the community. And so, with that being said, right, like where do we see ourselves sort of differentiated? I think we've talked about this a lot already, right? Exploring these types of real world use cases, looking at additional applications in the AI side because the space is so new, and there's endless opportunities, and some of these opportunities will be explored specifically on Manta Pacific to help grow that on the infrastructure side. Some of it will be explored on the application layer on Manta Pacific, and others will be explored potentially even in other ecosystems as well, right? At the end of the day, we're experimental, we're innovating, and what matters is the traction, is the users, for us, rather than being specifically aligned with any particular ecosystem. Victor?
Yeah, I totally echo on what Kenny said. But I mean that's the great things about crypto or Web3. I mean you don't have to rely on some big enterprise, to grow your own ecosystem or grow your own it's a free market. Grow your own token, but it's everything you need is basically deliver something what you promise, and then build a community, like I mean actually have great uh to achieve great adoption. That's what we've been keep try to do. I mean I won't say it's successful, but we've been keep try to do, and we've been success working on some kind of stage of adoption in certain period, but how to keep it sustainable and how to keep momentum in different kind of stages, catch up within this space, keep growing. That's we've been keep working on. Uh, but at the same time, I would say lot of projects you can say they say, oh, we are really aligned with Ethereum. It's totally goes wrong direction. Um, I mean, one example I would say is Polygon. It's really unfortunate example. I'm really good friend of Sandeep, but I will say if Sandeep keep focus on Indian builder adoption or general user adoption or support ecosystem, or they build some interesting product that can get more traction. But the problem is, I would say Polygon just focus on Vitalik's doing, right? Vitalik say, oh, you guys should do ZK, and then they just do ZK. Why the fuck they do ZK? Because it's just Vitalik want them do ZK, but it's actually not something like they get more user, but it spend a lot of effort. But I mean, I still bullish on Polygon because they're smart people. But I don't think other like project. You can see one of other example is our competitor Squirrel. They've been keep saying, oh, we backed by Vitalik, we have Vitalik support. But what they do to their community, they say, oh, we are e-bagger, you guys are e-bagger. But and then I changed my name on the profile. My Twitter profile say I'm e-bagger. All of our community, all of our team, include myself, are e-bagger. I'm happy our community get more airdrop. I'm an airdrop hunter as well. I've been farming airdrop from like Jupiter and like other places. If I get like $1,000 airdrop, I'm super happy. And also if it's more than 10,000, I've been extremely happy. I've been showing this project a lot, same as everyone else, right? So that's something I've been thinking is really important in the space. We use the product, we doing the same as community, but we never say, oh, because someone back us, we are different than community. We are the same, and we try to deliver something adoption to the same. But that's the great part of Ethereum. I mean, we still friends of like lot of people in the Ethereum ecosystem. I mean, like I don't think Vitalik like don't like us, but I think we share the vision different with a lot of people within the ecosystem. Just talking about research never deliver. One of close example right now is aligned layer. I'm not sure you guys how familiar with this shit. They've been keep talking about, oh, like a lot of things really loud on Twitter, but you can see no one care about them because they don't deliver, and they're just talking about decentralized, and the product is not there. But eventually people will figure out because they're talking about dump 99% and no one give a fuck and people just complain and they don't care about these kind of things. But we care because we build from community and we come from community.
Thank you so much, yeah, Victor and Kenny, for sharing your genuine thought with us. And indeed, Menta has consistently explored various strategies to maintain the momentum through different stages and market conditions. And Menta will definitely continue to attract more users through diverse approaches. And since earlier we mentioned about the market condition, how do you see the current state of Web3 space? And as an experienced project team, will Menta have any plans to fund or incubate any innovate projects? We're going to first bring this question to Kenny. Thank you. Oh, I think we actually just lost Kenny. Yeah, we are going to invite him join our stage again. And Victor, would you like to tackle on this topic first? Are we going
Uh,
to?
I I mean like I think it's very irrational after the Trump issue token. It's basically the same as the like 2021 when we see the Shiba and the Elon Musk talk about Dogecoin. It's like it's not make sense. A lot of people I haven't talked with them for many years. They've been asking me, oh, should I get like Solana? Should I buy Solana? Should I buy Trump token? But that's the time like really dangerous. But before, like we've been keep learning from Solana. I think, I've been trying to engage more on the Solana community, see how can they get good vibe, how can they make builders feel proud of building on Solana. So that's something I learned a lot, and we will see some like maybe product try to do that. But I just think like make everyone feel like share my personal understanding is just the macro economy is not good, and I would say like Canada going to bankrupt, this country going to fuck up, Japan going to fuck up, and maybe Korea, like because they all rely on US, but like Donald Trump don't want to save any of those guys. But if these countries like bankrupt, only US happy about it, and their assets going to buy everything. It's same as every financial crisis, but that's what Donald Trump wants. Uh, I mean, like, if the financial crisis is coming, crypto is a very volatile asset, is a risk asset still, is not a financial reserve now, so still, it's like you're going to have a lot of trouble. So I mean, I'm pretty bearish, but I think in the space, but people in the space are more resilient. We are not something like do really huge risk or give a lot of money to someone like SBF. We really care about like uh, how to keep the team sustainable, how to keep the project sustainable, and keep building in bear market. We've been through many bear market. This is only another one going to come in, but it's good time to prepare. And every bear market turn to bull market, and there will be some new momentum. That's something we are going to catch, like we did new paradigm, like we used to choose some polka dots. But that time, I don't know what's going to happen. But based on the previous experience, some great product can drive some mass adoption. And we are really confident we can build some great product.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Victor. And I'm also very positive that Menta will build amazing products to drive more users into our Web3 space. So I see like Kenny rejoin us. Hi, Kenny. Can you hear us now? Would you like to check your connection?
Hello, can you
Yes,
guys
loud
hear
and
me?
clear. Perfect. So would you wanted to also add your insight on this topic? How do you see the current state of Web3 and Menta plan to fund or incubate any innovative projects in the Web3 space? Thank you.
Yeah, I think Victor touched a lot upon the macroeconomics here, which makes sense. He's an economics master's degree over at Harvard, so he's probably the guy that should talk more about that. I'm more so I can talk from like a Manta grant perspective and how we've been funding projects. So I think it's right, like to your point, a lot of projects, grant farm, all that stuff. We recognize that very much early on, and so you might have seen, some L2s in space giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to projects to go build something, and then either or they move on to other ecosystems and continue that sort of mercenary capital mindset. What we did strategically with our grants program is focus purely on helping the project grow rather than funding the project themselves because of that current sort of mercenary ecosystem mentality. What that meant was a lot of our grants went towards helping with supplying initial liquidity, right? And so that meant that if anything goes wrong, we can also control that liquidity by removing that grant. And so there's a lot of flexibility on how we've been deploying. Which works in line with our ecosystem projects as well. I think we've seen a lot of amazing ecosystem projects grow and develop through Manta Pacific as a partner, as someone that we work on together with, rather than just kind of throwing money their way and saying good luck. One of the examples that I love to talk about is Stakestone, right? With Stakestone, when we started working with them, I think they were like sub 10 million in TVL. And then, we collaborated with them on the new paradigm campaign, and we were able to bring their TVL up to several billions, and that was able to help them with that rocket fuel that they needed to get to that next level. And so Stakestone is a great partner of ours and someone we work closely with and are really proud to see that accomplishment. We've seen that with other projects as um, So there's a lot of these types of examples in our ecosystem where we are able to strategically construct these grants in a way that helps the projects grow in our ecosystem rather than just pushing out money and saying good luck. Uh, and so that's we've been doing specifically grants funding, and at the same time, right, like additional projects to build on Manta. Now, what we define as an innovative project, again, right, like our focus is on user value, what value they can provide to the users, rather than just what technology are they deploying. And so we look very closely at the teams and reality, meaning like are they just building something as an R&D experiment, but not necessarily suited for direct benefit to our users. Or build something, scale it as not just a technology, but as a product, as a project, as something that we can see as growing and sustainable for the next, year, 3 years, 5 years down the line. And I think like, when we find those types of projects, those are the ones that we really want to support. And I think now's the perfect time to be supporting those projects because honestly, the sentiment is bad in the crypto space right now. Everyone obviously looking at the the markets, things aren't looking too bright. But that's where we found the most success in the previous bear market, and I think that's where we're going to find the most success in this current bear market. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Well noted. Thank you so much, Kenny, for sharing. So actually, Mentality support lots of projects for a while. And if you are a builder in the audience and would like to learn more about the Menta Grant, be sure to check out our official website or reach out to the team. Thank you. And the next question we're going to talk about is regarding the staking function on Atlantic. Since it will be disabled, some of our users ask, why didn't the team withdraw its support in the form of millions of tokens and instead start supporting the collaborators on Pacific and leaving the stakers on Atlantic alone?
Yeah, sure. So I can start off on this one. So this will be pretty simple to chat about, actually. So Manta Atlantic, right, for those of you guys that don't know, is our L1 that I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the conversation. And that's where all of the on chain staking for Manta tokens currently happen. What we're doing now is we're also working with Symbiotic, which allows for Manta staking directly through Ethereum. And so that the benefit of this is that now we're enabling fast finality on Manta, which would significantly improve the speed of token withdrawals to and from the network. We're also working closely with Babylon on this, and so for those of you guys that are interested, you can check out the articles on our blog, specifically talking about the integration with Babylon and Symbiotic. We will be migrating over to Symbiotic for on-chain staking moving forward, and that migration process has already started. And so the pre-staking period is available now, and Symbiotic has generously been awarded points for pre-stakers as well. So those points will convert to Symbiotic tokens in the future after TGE for Symbiotic. And so people that are already pre-staking Manta tokens on Symbiotic are eligible to earn those points. And then, post TGE, the Manta staking will continue through Symbiotic, and that's what's going to be used to secure our fast finality in the future. Atlantic will be deprecated after its parachain lease ends. What that means is that I think there's still a little bit less than a year, but it'll be somewhere in 2026. So there's plenty.
Sorry, Kenny, I just heard there will be plan on in 2026 and then we lost you again.
Okay.
Still very glitchy. Yeah, I know X Spaces today is unstable. So let's try again. And let me know if you find a more stable Wi-Fi connection. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, Give me 1 sec. Let me try to fix this.
Okay, thank you. I know, yeah, X
Yeah,
Spaces.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Victor.
Kenny mentioned everything basically.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, everyone know the reason why we left Polkadot. We only build for user, not for some people just talking about user and don't deliver anything.
That's a great conclusion. Thank you so much, Victor. So, how about let's shift from Polkadot to Ethereum? As we could see that Ethereum has been struggling in the market during the cycle, right? And also is significantly dropping against Bitcoin in terms of the token price. So, as a result, layer two networks are performing much worse than expected. So, has the team finally achieved any highs or to wanted to redirect efforts toward mental layer one? Thank you. And
I
let
mean,
me.
like, yeah, I just do it. Like, I mean, I think layer two is still like having its own value because the asset is really safe and everyone hold Ethereum, so it's much easier to have a new native token as gas fee. It's much easier to get adoption, but the problem is there's too many layer two, and all these layer two don't have different. That's why we try to do a lot of different things. We have CDFI, we have like gas scan, but they're also going to have more stuff and more stuff going to be more user facing stuff, the real revenue stream stuff. And also like at the same time we improve the infrastructure, but also like I would say we keep finding new builders outside Ethereum, but none of this Ethereum has been doing in the past 2 years. Vitalik and all the Ethereum Foundation mainly just focus on research on how to make it more trustless and decentralized. It's not the market just care about that. It's the market care about the adoption and the use case. That's why we have to work on it. But I mean, I don't think Ethereum is bad. Polkadot is bad because they talk about adoption, but there's no adoption. They don't care adoption, and they only care about something fake technology out of the like out of date. But Ethereum is different. The technology is still great, and they care about technology, really make it decentralized. But at the same time, we are not only work on that, we also work on get real adoption.
Well noted and bullish on continue to build within the Ethereum ecosystem as well. And let me check. Hi, Kenny, are you back? Would you like to also add on your insight? That's okay. We are going to continue to the next section. Over here, we're toward the end of our space event. So over here, we are going to switch to the rewards and gas game program because we have our users asking whether we could share any news about adjusting the reward pool for gas game in different rounds of campaigns. Thank you. Victor, would you like to take on this question? Thank you.
Yeah, so sorry, what like is the gas can and
Yes.
CDFI? Oh, I
Uh,
mean,
the
I think
reward pool.
I I think the reward is really different, like than what we are doing before. Uh, I mean, like I think the pool is small, but smaller. But the CD5, you guys can see the yield is still there. The native yield is pretty high, but we cannot like keep using the token to give the like incentive to make things sustainable. But we need to keep things sustainable through like more natural like a revenue stream, which is which is what I called the uh I would say the organic way, which is through going to at the same time get more yield. So that's going to benefit. We are going to build more product, use more Manta, at the same time incentive more people use that.
Well noted. And well, I think also consider shortening the season to probably 30 days for the gas gain.
I think it won't be different. It's just, like eventually, if more people use the product, use the chain, they will find that the gas fee grows really fast, and then grows really fast, and then eventually the gas fee can pay for the incentive rather than just rely on token. It's 60 days, 30 day. There's no different.
Well noted. Thank you so much. Yes, and well, we can actually move on and then to invite some speakers to join us on the stage. And everyone bear in mind that today X Spaces is quite glitchy and unstable. So if we can now pull you up, that's not any of you's fault, guys, about the platform's connections. So over here on the stage, we have Wendy. Hi, Wendy, can you hear us? Would you like to ask your question to us? Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you for having me here. Yeah, I actually have a question, yeah, maybe to Victoria. Yeah, great to hear you here. Yeah, so I remembered I once noticed in the announcements from from Meta official account, maybe it said Meta is on the way to Polygon CDK. I think yeah transit from OP stack to Polygon CDK. How is going now? May I know?
Yeah, I mean, I think like you directed the question at Victor, but I think he's muted right now, and I'm happy to chat about that. And so, yeah, a good question, Win. I think this goes back to the fact that we continue to keep trying and experimenting with different platforms. I'll be completely honest with you here, right? Like the reality is that CDK at the time was a bit too early as a technology to fully be productized, and this is through some of the internal docs that we work through, working with the Polygon team closely as well as seeing other chains sort of launch with CDK, and so that's something that we had to evaluate the whole sort of risk, right? Like if we were to switch from OP Stack, which is a tried and true platform that everyone uses, Base, WorldCoin, all the top L2s in the world are using it right now, to something extremely early stage and experimental, and ultimately what this means for the user experience. And so we made the decision that it wasn't worth that risk, at least not that early stage. We do this evaluation for any sort of new technology that we adopt. And so that was the same conversation we had to have about Celestia. It was the same conversation we had to have about Symbiotic, about Babylon, right? And so at the time, we decided that for CDK, it was a bit too premature to actually use. And so we've kind of paused on that front. So there are no plans currently for using Polygon CDK, at least not in the near term.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, actually, is there any reason we want to switch out from OP Stack? How do we think of OP Stack? Is it something issue? Yeah, I think maybe this is the big step to embrace the ZK ecosystem, but OP Stack their ZK tech, their ZK stack is still in very early stage.
Right. I think that's the key point, and I think you really hit the nail on the head there, which is that ZK technology, especially for scaling, is still fairly early stage. I think there's been a lot of innovation there, and so in the future, right, it's something that we're experimenting with as well. Already internally on the R&D side, we're looking at a lot of different ZK solutions. So it's something that we are actively experimenting with. But in terms of the switch between OP Stack and ZK, the benefit is definitely on the crypto security side, right? Switching from purely crypto economic security over to cryptographic security, which is ultimately, we think a better user experience, but it shouldn't come at the cost of the current user experience. Meaning that if the chain is slower, if the gas fees are much higher, if there's other inconveniences, then we don't think it's worth the switch at the time. But that doesn't mean that it's not something that we'll explore in the future.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, very detailed. Yeah.
Thank you
Cool.
so
Thank you.
much, Wendy, and hope this answers your questions. I'm going to invite more friends to join us because I see several more hands are raising right now. And once again, bear in mind that today's connection is quite unstable. So if you cannot be pulled up, no worries. You can also always
Oh, Victor, you here? Hello?
I think if there are any issues, you can always share your questions to our community members as well, because every time before our monthly Menta Town Hall, we will collect questions from our community members. Yeah, I believe, yeah, we just pulled out another friend, but it seems like they are unable to connect. That's okay. Once again, thank you for joining today's Menta Town Hall. And really, this is a session to let everyone to have a clear understanding of the Menta ecosystem's future and also showcase Menta's continuous effort in advancing Web3. So all of your questions and feedbacks are very important to the growth of Menta ecosystem. We certainly look forward to more innovations ahead. So before we wrap up the session, I would like to check with Victor or Kenny. Do you have any conclusions or additional information that you'd like to share with our audience? Thank you so much.
Yeah, on my side, I think this was a great town hall. Thank you to everyone who attended. I think we had, quite a few audience members at the beginning, but we've gone beyond, our time. So unfortunately, I think a lot of people had to drop off, and I've got to hop off for the next meeting as well. But really appreciate everyone's time here, and we'll be doing this on a monthly basis. And so, keep your notifications on for these Manta Twitter spaces. At the same time, right, we are starting to build a stronger, more cohesive community. And so, one of the attendees here in the space that you see is Baby Manta. Baby Manta has been our mascot for quite a while now. You might have seen him on TikTok, you might have seen him on Twitter or Instagram. And it's making some fun waves in the space just by being, very relaxed, very funny, very chill. And so there will be just some alpha in this space. There will be, an NFT for Baby Manta in the future. And so for anyone who is, aligned with users, who's excited about, Manta as much as we are, just follow Baby Manta as well. And, we'll make sure that you're able to also potentially get your hands on one of these upcoming NFTs.
Amazing. Yeah, you could always see Baby Manta saying G Manta, right? G Baby Manta along the way as well. Thank you so much for adding that. And Victor, would you also like to share your final thought with us? Thank you. Okay.
I think he's having some audio issues.
Okay, yeah. Well, it happens to all of us, but that's okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again next month. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, everyone. We're getting ready to start our Menta Network Town Hall, and this is a very amazing session. Let's listen to some light music while we're waiting for more audience to join us. And also, feel free to help us to share this space link across platforms so more audience can find us. Thank you.
Guys, I just wanted to chime in and see if everyone can hear me because I keep getting the connection loss notification.
Oh, yeah, great. We can hear you perfect. I was just wondering if we need to bring up your personal account over here. That's amazing. Thank you. It's loud and clear. So Kenny
Didn't
will
hear
join
that. You
us
said
from
something about personal account?
yeah. So just your personal account is not on the stage, but we can hear you loud and clear from the let me see. It's I think yeah, X Spaces does glitch a lot because we cannot see you on the stage, but we can hear you. I thought it came from the main account. But well, either way that
Oh,
works.
yeah.
Okay.
I think right now Twitter is having some issues because I think a few team members also had to reload quite a few times just to get the spaces started. So really appreciate everyone's patience and all this as we try to get the town hall going while coordinating some Twitter uptime issues.
And I see that we already got a lot of audience joining as well. Should we start or do we still want to wait a couple more minutes for some people to be able to connect?
I think we can go ahead and get started.
Amazing. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are going to, well, welcome everyone to the Mental Town Hall and your host, Moonlight. Today we have Victor and Kenny, our co-founders at Mental Network, as our speakers. Our community managers have collect questions from a lot of community members throughout the week. And in today's Meta Town Hall, we're going to be addressing several key topics, such as the trading timeline of KMA on Meta Pacific, the future prospect of the token for migration, and whether it has a chance to be listed on top-tier exchanges. Additionally, we will dive into Meta's overall development plans, adjustment to the gas scheme program, and other pressing concerns about the Meta ecosystem. This is also a great opportunity for our community to voice your thoughts and gain valuable insights. So let's get right into it. The first part, we're going to talk about trading and token economy. And the very first question is, when will trading of KMA token begin on Meta Pacific? Kenny, would you like to answer this question first? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So before actually I begin answering the questions, right, I want to talk with you guys more so just in general about Manta, things that we're working on, the current sort of status of the industry, the markets, and everything. I know everyone is. It's probably not the most fun time in this space, right? Things have been going quite rapidly. And I understand that, like